Alright, Ryca fans, this is the chain conversion video. If you're going to be doing a chain conversion on your CS-1 or your Scrambler or your Street Tracker or your two-seater, if you're going to use the new modified notched Ryca rear set bracket, you need to replace the M8 by 50 Allen head with a cap screw. That'll be included with the conversion. It's the upper left bolt on the Ryca rear set bracket. We include a M8 by 50 button head cap as shown here in the image. That basically allows for chain clearance. And the first step is to take off the pulleys, and the washer on second to right needs to be flattened. You need to flatten the notch off that before you can take off the nut. So there's your front sprocket, and there's your shaft after you remove the original pulley. You can remove it by holding the rear brake down. With an assistant can hold the brake down while you're taking that off. You can then add one of our spacers. This is the stainless steel spacer to the inside. Then you add the pulley itself and then a spacer to the outside. So you add the spacer, the pulley, and then another one of the Ryca stainless spacers. Here's the pulley on the shaft. The new sprocket, the sprocket on the shaft, and then the other second spacer on the outside, as shown here. And then you can put on the original washer. You'll bend that over after the nut is torqued. Here's the washer flattened. You're going to put that on the end of the shaft, and then once the nut is torqued, you're going to bend that over one side of the nut. So basically you're sandwiching the sprocket between the two Ryca stainless spacers, putting the washer on, and then torquing the nut down and bending the washer over to secure the nut in position, as shown here. And in the next shot, after the front sprocket, we're going to show the rear sprocket. Basically you're going to just replace the rear pulley with the new rear sprocket and use the existing stock 6 nuts and bolts as they were on the original Suzuki rear pulley shown here. Now you're going to be attaching your chain. You're going to cut the chain. If you're using the 1852 sprocket combination, it's very close to the stock belt pulley combination to keep the gear ratio the same and to clear the swing arm. You're going to go ahead and mark a link or use a chain breaker tool. Here we've marked and cut one of the links with a Dremel tool, and then you can pop those out with pliers. If using the 1852 sprocket combination, we recommend you're going to cut the chain at around 69.5 inches, 69.5, but double check that. Here's the new end link in position, and then once the end link comes through the back, you can stick the front piece and then the clip on. So here's the next image with the front piece and the clip as shown. And then in the next shot, the clip pressed into position. Once that's done, make sure your chain is tightened well, and torque your bolts accordingly. Now, to make sure your chain is not over tightened, you want to make sure the swing arm can go full travel. Here you can see we've tightened the axle at the point where you can get full swing arm travel, and that's the other reason we use an 1852 sprocket combination. But as we show here, if you were to over-tighten the rear adjustment screws, you won't be able to get full travel on your swing arm. Here you still get a full travel, but if you tighten those too far, as shown here, you won't get full travel, and that's dangerous. That puts too much pressure on your output shaft of your transmission. There it stops. That's too tight. Okay? So that's about it. Torque all your nuts and your axle bolt with the brake applied, and then torque your axle down, and then you should be all set. Stay tuned for more.